Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison, and it's been a weekend since I played, so like, it's only been like a day or so for you, and it's been like 3 for me, and it's like, oh right, yeah, the house is on fire. By the way, fun fact, that's what my computer feels like trying to run Baldur's Gate 3, okay? I, for some reason, decided I haven't finished Fire Emblem Engage, but I was like, I can't wait till I finish that one to like buy Baldur's Gate 3, and it looks really fun because I watched my favorite streamers play it, and I was like, this is fun. I need to play this. I don't know. I will suck at it, but I will try. And my computer, it basically feels like this after about an hour. Actually, probably about 10 minutes into playing the game. I played for about 3 hours on Saturday night after I bought it. An hour of that is in character creation because my frame rate, my computer did not like it. I kept tanking frame rates every few minutes. My computer was like, no, fuck you, bitch, we can't do this. It seems to run better now. I think it's because I didn't have, oh my god, Norton. Jesus fucking Christ. Why? Norton has just been crazy bitch lately in the last few days. It's like popping up left and right. It's like, simmer down. My computer wouldn't turn off last night. Like, it wouldn't go to sleep. It went to sleep and then it decided to wake up and I couldn't get it to go to sleep. It was still running, so I'm like, we're just gonna shut you down then. So Norton's like, hey, you turned your computer off, so maybe you should do a smart scan. Norton, simmer down, bitch. Go away. Shh. Always trying to sell me shit. But anyway, so my computer I can set up like when I play The Sim, when I do this, I don't have anything special set up because I'm just running my recording software. This is on my Switch, you know? But when I'm running The Sims, I have a special profile so I can change the RGB lights on my keyboard too to do different things for different games. And you can set like the different modes, you know? So I made one for Baldur's Gate so I could do like when it loads up, it's in performance mode and the fan's on turbo because my computer literally is this. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, but it didn't like the frame rates at first, and I was like, this is gonna be hard. Like, my game keeps tanking frame rates. Like, it was so hard running it. I don't think it was because it wasn't in performance mode. But like, I had to stop after 3 hours because I was like, I'm sweating, and I think my legs might burn off because I have a coolie pad. Then I have 2, but the one that I used to use, like, when my old computer would process my videos, it would burn like this screen. That's basically that my computer would do. But that one has got like the bottom part is like a little rack where you can like adjust it so you can put it on different angles. You know, so I put it on a little bit of an angle to get some more airflow underneath. That's not comfortable to have on your lap for a while. So the one that I got for when I'm sitting up here recording Sim stuff has a little padding underneath, and then like that was more to just keep my lap. It does have a little, you can plug it in, and then it's got little fans. Not as good as my other one. They're little like baby fans, you know? It's instead of having a turbo powered actual fan, it's like you took one of those teeny tiny little ones where you push a little button and it's like, you know? Not even you know? It's basically like if you took your hand and fanned yourself. That's about as much, like, it's baby like that, okay? But that was more to just keep my computer off my lap. And if I needed the fan, I could plug it in. So that, like, when I sit here playing The Sims, my legs don't burn. Even though my computer gets hot, but not as bad as Baldur's Gate 3. Like, holy shit. So I was like, no, I'm sweating, and my air conditioning's on. I'm pretty sure my air conditioning was like, oh my god, we must be dying. Is it, like, are we at the equator? Are we in hell? I got, like, because my computer was, like, fucking on fire. Like, Jesus. I guess it's good. It will stop me from playing the game for long periods of time or forgetting anything exists. Because I'm like, no, my computer's 100,000 degrees. You better shut it down. I managed to get it to work yesterday, though, and not have any, like, frame rate issues. So I think putting it in performance mode is good. But anyway, I opened this and I'm like, this is like flashbacks to trying to play that game. Because my computer, Jesus. Oh, God, it worries me. But so one of these days, there's gonna be something on the channel, not even a video, that's gonna be like, by the way, my computer burst into flames, so we're fucked now. Because I'm trying to play a game that I don't think computer's like 3 or 4 years old, so like, might even be older than that. It was top of the line and had additional specs added to it, so like, when I look at what I could get now for a new computer, I'm like, some of the shit's not even as good as what I have. Sure, graphics card and processors are better, but I'm like, but like the space and everything, I'm like, no. Like, although Baldur's Gate takes 100 gigs, there goes a quarter of my hard drive that was left. Oh my god. It was probably a bad decision, but it's a really great fucking game. It's so much fucking fun. Anyway, we're here to find out that Majima blew up our fucking house. And like, shit. We're gonna have a great time. But anyway, house is on fire, and here we go. Oh no. No way. No, okay, that was too dramatic. Anyway. Oh no. No way. She's past the garden and is standing in front of the manor, her eyes darting back and forth before the horrendous sight. Fujita is so fucking dead right now. I'm glad our brother wasn't in the house. The manor is burning. But why? Nothing out of the ordinary happened until just a few moments ago. So why is the manor engulfed in flames now? How did it explode during the short period of time that Spacey spent inside Majima's room? I kind of absolutely... This is traumatic, and I am terrified of this actual fucking, like, scenario, like my house being on fire. I'm terrified of it. So, like, but, like, in this situation, and I feel like I don't want to say this out loud because then the universe is going to be like, okay, house on fire! No, please don't. But, like, for the purposes of this story, now we can run away with our brother. Because before we felt tethered to our life and this manor, and how are we going to hide our relationship? And it's like, well, now we don't have the manor to tether ourselves to. Like, we were feeling weighted down by the responsibility that came with this household, i.e. this physical property. And now it's like, we don't have that. Bye, let's go. And sadly, I don't think we have to worry about Fujita and letting him go find another job, because I'm pretty sure he's dead, which is the bad part of this. But, you know, oh, poor Fujita. He didn't deserve that. I hope he got out, you know? She's still having a hard time believing the sight before her. Spacey stands rooted to her spot until she snaps out of it and moves to get something. Anything to extinguish the fire. Girl! Nothing you get is gonna put that out. The trees are on fire in the front of it. It's not even the manor. The trees outside. Like, the whole fucking property. Like, Majima set up a bomb. This is a bomb. To put out the fire, I have to find something. I get it, though, because I feel like in a moment of panic, you were like, I need to shoot guns at the hurricane, it'll stop it! I.e. if you live in the South in the United States. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're like, did you really think that was gonna work? Redneck mentality. But you know what I mean? Like, so in a situation like this, you're like, water, a cup of water, and you're like, that's, girl, no matter if you had a fire extinguisher, nothing. Nothing is gonna stop this. Especially in the 1920s, like, even the fire department's gonna roll up and be like, yeah, that's... Alright, guys, we'll get the hoses out, but a modern-day fire department would still have fucking difficulty with this shit, okay? We, on our own, in our tiny little cup of water, we can't fucking do anything. But I get the rationale of, like, you're in this panic mode and you don't stop and go, nothing I'm doing is gonna help. You're just like, I have to do something. Because if you do nothing, you feel like, I could have done something, even though there's nothing you can do here. Do you think it's Majima or our brother? I'm not sure, so someone's sneaking up and saying, I wouldn't do that if I were you. The voice from behind Spacey startles her. I feel like it could be our brother, be like, no, don't do that. But I feel like it's probably Majima. Like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Because it sounds a little more threatening than like, no, don't! Our brother would be a little more panicked. Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. When she turns around, she locks eyes with Majima, who just looks so proud of himself right now. And he looks normal. Majima has his characteristic smile. Yeah, his characteristic smile on his face, watching Spacey as if the manor isn't even on fire. And that's the best part, because the Sprite version of Majima has the way we've seen him before, is that, like, that little wistful kind of look, the innocent, sweet face. But in this context, it looks so evil! He's like, set your fucking house on fire, bitch. Normal Majima's like, hey, what's up? I'm just gonna go garden. I'm chill and cool. And this is so sinister. It's great. But there's something awfully terrifying about him. The familiar smile seems to be hiding madness and mystery. Majima, what do you mean?
Huh? Well, just look at the fire. That's too big for you. Or anyone for that matter, to put out.
But... And then a thought crosses Spacey's mind and she pales. Fujita! Where's Fujita? At least you're worried about him, thanks. Oh god, is that gonna make me cry if he's dead? Oh no.
Beats me. If he were inside, though, he'd be dead by now.
No. No way! The thing is, until we know he's dead, I'm just gonna pretend like he got out. That's my problem. And I think that's why I feel like when people read this, if you played this and you got here, you'd be like, oh my god, it made me cry thinking Fujita's dead. And I want to cry thinking he might be dead, but my brain is like, nah, he got out. It's fine. Delusional. He got out and he's just, he's fine. We might not see him get out, but since we didn't physically see him dead, he got out and he's fine and I can delude myself. Which is why I won't get like overly emotional and actually cry about it. When we find his burned corpse, I might. Cause like when I was like, he's dead. Oh, that hurt a little more than it should have. Stacey wonders if her knees will give in right at that moment, but she fights the feeling. Her mind's a little fuzzy now, what with the manor being a huge bonfire in front of her, but it can still sense that Majima's words and actions are somewhat off. But she's upset, stunned, and distraught, and she can't seem to put a finger on what's strange about Majima. I mean, exactly. You know what I mean?
My lady, are you alright?
Yes, I am. But we need to do something, right? We should call the police!
I doubt you can do much about it. You're so pale, I'm amazed you haven't passed out yet. Maybe you should rest.
Majima slowly reaches out. Spacey's vision is running in circles and she lets him guide her head to rest on his chest. A nostalgic smell coming from the direction of his chest wafts into Spacey's nose. The smell. She tries to find it in her memories, but her brain refuses to cooperate. Lighter fluid? Gasoline?
You may be a tomboy, but you're still a lady. Look at you, so spent and weak.
Majima murmurs, wrapping his arms around Spacey. This is, like, interesting. Because, like, obviously he's still playing into his fake character. You know what I mean? A little bit. Because he doesn't know that we know he's sus. He doesn't know that we were in his room. He blew up the manor, and is probably a little shocked to find out that we weren't in it. He's like, So he's not like, what the fuck? Why were you in there? Stab. So he hasn't totally, he's more like, oh, poor thing. And there's probably something in him that's like, you bitch, you were supposed to be inside. A little mad that his plan got foiled a little bit. But then is also like, I need to pretend I'm nice, Majima. So that, oh, you trust me. But, you know, still the little sinister's coming out. But, like, it is kind of interesting that he's like, oh, he's gonna wrap his arms and be like, night, instead of just straight up stabbing us. I guess because maybe we're on the street, people are gonna witness it, but... His strangely composed attitude irks Spacey, making her want to scream at him about the gravity of the situation. Majima, I'll be fine on my own, so please call the firefighters.
You're right. Well, I can't leave you alone, so why don't we go together, my lady?
But I'll only slow you down. Just go, find a telephone and call for help. Go, now!
My lady, calm down. Listen to me.
He wants to be like, oh, come with me, get in the car, and then he's gonna kidnap us. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing! I've been there several times already! But then she can vaguely register the sound of approaching footsteps. Our brother, thank God. The next thing she hears is Majima huffing out a laugh above her head.
I didn't know you were capable of running.
Huh?
Majima, let Spacey go!
Rushing toward them out of breath is none other than Mizuhito. The second Spacey locks eyes with her brother, her consciousness slowly returns.
Why should I? The lady's about to collapse, so I'm only trying to support her. Don't mess with me! You did this! You were the one who set the manor on fire!
It's really hard to do that voice dramatically. Yes, that's possible. She should have considered the possibility. The shock of seeing the manor on fire has robbed Spacey of the ability to think straight and made her fail to consider the possibility that Majima might have been the person who set the fire. She should have known, judging by his composure and detached words despite the state of the emergency. She grunts, mustering her courage to get out of Majima's hold, but he tightens his grip around her. That one gesture drains all the blood from her face.
What's the matter, my lady?
Let me go. I'm fine now. I can stand on my own. So let go, Majima.
My apologies, but I'm afraid I cannot do that.
Why not? She whips her head to glare at him, but the face looking down at her is frigid, a terrifying contrast to the burning flames behind him.
Finally showing your true face, huh, Majima?
Mizuhito growls, curling his lips in fury.
Easy, I know who he is, and the proprietress was right.
What? But how did you find out about it, brother?
Looks like I have to apologize to you, master.
Majima praises Mizuhito, turning to him with Spacey still secured in his hold.
You see, I always thought you were an idiot. A man who's all beauty and no brains.
See, even Majima thinks her brother's beautiful. So, we're totally fine with sleeping with him.
I was wrong. Thanks to you, I had no choice but to, well, play with fire a little.
Majima, are you saying that you did set the manor on fire?
Yes, I did this.
Majima easily admits his crime.
The master left me with no choice but to leave this place. So I thought I might as well tie up all loose ends.
And that's supposed to entail burning down the manor?
Indeed. Do you want to know why? Because the manor is cursed.
Majima shifts his gaze toward the burning manor, eyeing it with contempt. I'm still curious as why it's cursed.
I believe burning it to ashes would cleanse it, at least somewhat. You're the cursed one here, Majima.
Mizuhito mutters in a low voice, looking straight at Majima.
When you went to the brothel that I used to visit a lot, the proprietress there recognized your face. She said you looked like an opium dealer who'd frequent a certain underground brothel. I had a theory, and I wanted to confirm it as soon as possible, so I asked Spacey to go home first and went there.
Brother, where did you go?
You know, I never wanted to tell you this, but
Mizuhito pauses before lifting his eyes, glinting with resolve, to look at her and speak.
I used to work as a male prostitute because I wanted to earn money, however little, to pay off the debt of our household.
See, so that's basically like, Yoko, like what she was doing. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing that kind of came out in Fujita's route, and I was wondering, I wonder if that's been going on in the background in the other route. So this is basically a yes. I don't think that's something specific to Mizuhito's route, so he has been doing that to try. So, because that kind of came out in Fujita's bad ending, you know what I mean? Which, when I was like, why wouldn't that come out in, Mizuhito's ending? Like, that bit. Why wasn't that a Mizuhito ending? Because it seemed focus on him. But actually, I mean, now that when you kind of get, it's like, oh, so now you know this has been going on, and it kind of, set the stage, I guess, a little bit for it, So yeah, that's been there the whole time, and so when you're dating any other character, that's been kind of happening. He's been doing that. Yep. Kind of was sus of that, so.
Some wretched nouveau riche who have their eyes set on the plight of our household were the ones who gave me the offer. I agreed after they told me the amount of money that I could earn in one night.
Why would you do that, brother?
Because I didn't want you to suffer.
Mizuhito bellows.
I wanted to keep you away from that filthy world. I wanted you to stay innocent, stay happy. I'm prepared to be the only one sullied.
Again, and that's exactly what was set up in Fujita's, they wanted her, and Mizuhito offered himself to be in that place, But you do such a thing. Hot tears that Spacey can't hold back anymore fall, streaming down her cheeks. Mizuhito looks at her with a look of anguish on his face.
I'm sorry, Spacey, but I didn't see any other option. The creditors aren't patient people. I was determined to do everything within my power for you. If this were the old me, the one who couldn't reveal his feelings to you, who didn't mind dying, I would have probably been more hopeless. I would have been more reckless. But the me now wants to protect you and grow old with you. I was able to look forward to the future, to want to do something in order to change our situation for the better.
Oh, brother. Spacey covers her face, sobbing silently. Although her brother has been indulging in pleasurable activities, he couldn't have completely thrown away his pride as an aristocrat. Well, how much internal conflict must her brother have had to go through before deciding to sell his body? Her brother said he should be the only one sullied between the two of them. He has been sacrificing himself, doing it all for the sake of his sister.
One of my partners was a lady who's quite a prominent figure in the underground world. Of course, she's also involved with brothels that trade opium. Well, that explains it. Well, you got information from her, huh?
Majima says in a quiet voice.
You shouldn't have underestimated a lady killer such as yourself, Master. I think I know the lady you're talking about. She's a countess who escaped from Russia, isn't she?
She was the one that we saw him with in that ending in Fujita's route, where we, saw him walking away with the Russian countess, and then Kyoko was like, oh, he's teaching her Japanese. Yeah, okay. If that's what you want to call it. When I was learning Japanese, it wasn't I'm going out and having sex with people. It's actually learning the language. So, Kyoko, bullshit.
Yeah. She told me you're bringing the opium from China, and that you're the king of the opium in the underground. Phew. I guess one should never trust a woman.
Are you gay for my brother now? A little weird. How are we gonna romance you later?
You're supposed to be her pet, for crying out loud. I can't believe she just shared the information with you.
Majima mutters to himself and lightly shrugs his shoulders.
My subordinates told me that you, the master of this household, were suspecting me. That's when I decided to put an end to my act. Well, I didn't think it was time for me to withdraw. By the way, I also know that the two of you are in a hideous relationship.
I mean, he basically just admitted it. When Mizuhito was going through the spiel, 2 seconds ago, I was like, I guess he doesn't care that Majima knows we're banging each other, because it's pretty obvious by what you're saying, so... Yeah, Majima! Doesn't matter if you knew before, because you sure as fuck know now. Huh? Spacey holds her breath. With a cold sneer on his face, Majima flicks his gaze from Spacey to Mizuhito.
You got guts indulging in filthy activities under the same roof as me.
Interesting. Are you going to say you're not my brother, cousin? Because then that's disappointing, because then you're like, this is disgusting. You're judging me for this, so I guess what I'm hoping for in your route is not going to come to pass. And then the game bamboozled me and lied to me about the incest. So. Whatever. Again, they've done a really great job making it still feel slightly weird and inappropriate because we keep referring to each other as brother and sister. So they're like, not really your brother, but also we're going to make it as weird as possible given that situation. So I'm okay with it. It's not my preferred way of doing. I really wanted it to actually be my brother, but I feel like if I can handle this, then someday when they give us an actual brother route, I'm not going to be bothered by it. Probably not going to bother me. I feel like this has been a good enough trial for this scenario. Again, it's not the perfect 10 scenario to test out if I'm going to black out because I'm horrified by what's happening. But it's 9 out of 10, so I feel like that's good enough to deem that I am absolutely a degenerate. Totally okay if we get a brother fucking route. Again, do we remember early days, for those of you who've been around forever? Or who were just watching old things and then got here where I was, oh my god, we're dating our cousin. I know it's 1406, but that's gross. I mean, again, historically accurate, but still gross at the time. And now I'm like, whatever, let's do our brother. Sounds like a good time. Oh, how times have changed, and debauchery has found us and embraced us in its warm caress. Anyway. I feel like the channel's a little bit more fun with just how fucking off the rails I've gotten from day one till now. Can you imagine 5 years from now? Oh my god. Hopefully we're still around.
You... Yes, I know. I know you've been coupling like mindless creatures. Lower than animals.
So are we not gonna have sex with Majima when we get to his route, or he's gonna be like really, really disturbed about it? His thought process on this whole thing is weird.
I can't believe you. You filthy lowlife.
Not caring about manners, Spacey raises her palm to slap Majima's cheek. Again, I'm kind of curious about his thought process here. Calling us filthy lowlives and degenerates. I mean, the underlying is because you're fucking your brother, whatever. But it seems more like, you just indulging in sexual activity. Are you a priest? Like, why is he so judgy about that? I'm curious. Or he's a little jealous. Oh. Majima stiffens and glares at her. We'll find out in 2 routes. You don't know anything, so don't speak as if you do! You know nothing about my brother's anguish! How long do you think he's been hurting? How deep do you think his wounds run? You don't even have the slightest idea!
My lady.
I like how you're still calling me my lady, despite the fact that, like, you're trying to destroy us. Her tears are unstoppable. Words escape her, and she struggles to find the best way to articulate her emotions through speech. But she didn't regret having slapped Majima. It had to be done. She had to scream in his face. I mean, I don't think you should regret slapping Majima in this situation. Not just because he said something that offended you, so you slapped him, and then you're like, oh, I feel bad about that reaction. The man burned down your house and actively hates you. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure slapping him you shouldn't feel bad about in this case. The fact that the words of contempt and mockery about her and her brother's filthy relationship have come from Majima, the person she's trusted for years, only serves to spur her resentment toward him. Man blew up your house.
Yes, we are siblings.
You said we weren't.
And yes, you're probably right about us being lower than animals.
Mizuhito speaks quietly. There's a strong glint in his eyes, one that she's never seen before.
But I'm the only filthy one. My sister's been raised to be a pure girl. I was the one who led her down this indecent path. And I won't forgive anyone who dares ridicule my sister.
Brother... When he hears the dignity in Mizuhito's voice, Majima doesn't even bother to conceal the look of contempt on his face. He's jealous. Yeah, fuck his sister cousin. I'm just going with it. The game's gonna ruin it for me later, but let's just have some fun with it now. He snorts and stares at his former master with cold eyes, ones that are full of mockery. Mizuhito seems to hesitate a little, but the hesitation soon passes and is replaced by determination. He opens his mouth to continue.
And I'm telling you this because you're going to leave us anyway, but she and I are not blood related. She isn't my real sister.
Huh? Majima looks genuinely surprised for the first time. It's as if all the poison inside him has seeped out of him, leaving only a purely shaken expression on his face. He stares blankly at Mizuhito, looking like he's seen a ghost, like he's witnessed something utterly unbelievable.
You're not biological siblings,
he repeats in a murmur. Majima's arms around her have completely lost their strength, but Majima's abrupt change in attitude has Spacey watching him with rapt attention, unable to move. It is a very interesting reaction. I mean, the whole, like, wait, you're not siblings? I get the being a little shocked by that because he didn't know, but this seems a little too invested. You know what I mean? Like, he seems to care about it a little too much.
I see. Thank goodness. I'm glad you told me about it.
Majima laughs, his voice dry. Has he lost his marbles? I'm confused.
It seems the curse of this household never got its claws on you.
Curse? What are you talking about? However, they're suddenly surrounded by noise. Countless red fire trucks are on their way to the manor with their sirens blaring. Alright, wait. Oh, it seems the curse of the household didn't get its hands on you. Remember again earlier where Kyoko was talking about our mother and was like, oh, our father lit this kimono on fire that our mother's brother, and she was really devoted and really loved her brother, and we were like, did she have an appropriate relationship with her brother? And like our father was like really jealous about it. And then I threw out maybe Majima's our brother cousin. Like, he's a weird incestuous like child thing. Like, product of that relationship, right? So like that would I'm just spitballing here, but like that might explain why he's so like, this place is cursed and disgusting and vile and you're fucking each other and you're related, and we're like, no, but we're not. And he's like, oh, so the curse didn't get you. Okay, cool. And maybe that's why he's so invested in this and caring. Because like, again, they're going to come up. I'm just saying, if they come up with something else, because I feel like, why tell us that? Why would that be the story that the game set out about? Oh, to show that our father had a hot temper about our mother, right? Or actually, our brother told us that. Kyoko didn't tell us that. Right. Mizuhito told us that. Never mind. Whatever. Whoever. But you know what I mean? Like, so first of all, why would they even bother with having this dual personality of our father, right? It had to have been spurned by something. And like, it's one thing to be like, oh, our father was actually very passionate about our mother and was a little jealous, but he simmered down once you were born. Like, okay, sure, fine. People change with age or when they have kids and things, you know what I mean? You could be like, woo, go down partying all the time. Now I'm going to have a kid, so I guess I got to settle down and not do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, babies and families and things change people, fine. But like, the whole point of that story was, mom's brother gave her a kimono, and then our dad got so pissed he burnt it, and he was like really pissed about it. Why would you pick that particular topic? Why would that be the example instead of like, oh, mom got a kimono from her family and dad was just mad because they didn't think he was good enough. So, you know what I mean? Where it's something like that, where it's like, oh, they always kind of treated him like he was lesser. So he was like really mad at the whole family, so he burnt the kimono. No, it was specifically her brother, and specifically mentioned that they were very close. And then Majima's like, oh, this whole family's cursed. You know what I'm saying? And if he finds out that our mother maybe had him, and then they abandoned him somewhere or sent him, and then he figured out who his family was, like, then you would think your family's cursed. Like, I found out who my real family is, only to find out my mother and my father were siblings. And I'm a product of incest, and now I'm in this house and I'm going to destroy them because they abandoned me. What the fuck? And now these two are fucking now and they're sibling? Grow! You know what I mean? Like, it just runs in the family. If you can't keep it in your pants, keep it in your family type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it fits so well, but I feel like what's going to happen is this is brilliant. Okay? But the game's gonna be like, well, Majima's mad because one time you accidentally, like, did something. Like, everything else in this game has been this logical kind of thing. Like, Shiba ran into us when we were younger, and we gave him a handkerchief, and it was the nicest thing anyone's ever done for him, and it was only human decency he'd ever felt up to that point, and then he just clung to it, and it's like, and then he became obsessed with us. That's a little disturbing. Like, Shiba, I'm going to need you to find some other things in your life to care about. But you could see where that happened. You know what I mean? Like, okay. But there was no point in telling us that our mother and her brother got really along really, really well and our father was really jealous of that without it leading to something else. That seems silly. You would have just had some other kind of story and you would have been like, well, we're going to set up that XYZ and that's why he was mad about it, not the mother and her brother were close. That makes it sound like there was an incestuous thing, especially because it's coming out in the route where we are, quote unquote, having an incestuous relationship with our brother, who's not actually our brother. You know what I mean? And then the mother, but yet our mother was always the one like, oh, you shouldn't talk about your sister that way to our brother every time he'd like say that. So, but if you were having, or maybe it's because she knew her relationship with her brother was inappropriate and was like, oh God. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying that would be a really brilliant way to do this. And I think that if that's the outcome, that like Majima's actually our brother cousin, this product of incest between our mother and her brother, and then but they abandon him because like incest, baby. you know, and then like then he finds us and then is going through this whole like psycho thing, and that's why he's trying to destroy our family and pretending to be the gardener and shit, and thinks the family's cursed and all that crap. Like, because why else? Like, that is fucking brilliant and disturbing, and I'm here for it. But I feel like if we get to Majima's route and they're like, actually, he's just mad because, like, your father borrowed money and didn't pay him back or whatever, and it's going to be and if it's something like that, I'm going to be like, well, this is fucking lame compared to what I came up with, which would have been so much more fucked up and brilliant and wonderful and, like, yes, CW levels of, like, debauchery, right? That's what we want. And, like, the game is setting that up so perfectly, and if it's anything less than that, I might be disappointed and be like, what the fuck, you dropped the ball game. You know? Don't tell me if that's what happens. If you've played this game and you know, just sit there with your finger. Just wait. If it's better than the whole incest brother-cousin thing, I don't know how it could be better. Better if you find that disgusting, then you're like, thank God it's not that. But I mean, like, that is disturbing and fucked up and amazing. You know, you have to look at it like, damn! You went straight down into hell with this, didn't you, game? Damn right! What the hell? You know? It's exciting and wrong! And if it's less than that, I'm gonna be disappointed, but... I mean, we're gonna find out in, like, a month. Anyway. Countless fire trucks are on their way to the manor with their sirens blaring. I just feel like they keep setting it up and this is the perfect thing, right? God damn, I hope I'm right. The trucks might have been imported from America or Germany. Spacey herself has never seen a real fire truck up close before. Running toward them with desperation and leading the firefighters is Fujita. He's not dead! I've never felt better in my life! Okay, like, I know I said that, like, unless I see Fujita's body, I'm not gonna cry, but this, with leading the firefighters is Fujita, and I swear to God, I wanna cry. I mean, I don't have the tears in my eyes, but they're in that back. You know when you're like, they're back there! They're back there, like, my eyes almost watered. Just being so relieved he's not dead. Oh, Fujita, I'm so glad you're not dead. You don't even understand. God damn. It did pain me a little when I thought you might be dead. And, like, I'm just so glad you're not. I know it's not about you, but I still want you to be happy and alive. Oh. Oh, you're not allowed to die except for in your own route. You know what I mean? Well, our brother did technically die in Shiba's route, didn't he? Yeah. Kind of curious about why that. I mean, Majima, or maybe he just did it himself because he was sad and lonely and all the shit he's been through. So, like, I don't think we ever figured that out. Like, I don't think they ever really straight up said, did he, when it said, like, oh, he drowned himself with a geisha. Did he really, or did Majima push him, or was that a choice he made on his own? You know what I mean? I feel like it's probably a choice he made on his own because we've seen now everything that he's been going through makes sense. Oh, my lady, I've been looking for you. So glad you're safe. Vegeta, where have you been? I went to our neighbor's house to borrow their telephone and called the police, and I've been searching for you ever since. Oh, I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved you're alive too. Oh my god. We just cry and hold each other. Overcome with emotion, Vegeta reaches out to grip Spacey's hands tightly, and then his gaze lands on Majima, who's standing next to them. He narrows his eyes into slits. Majima, when did you return? I thought you were going to be back late today.
Yes, actually. I forgot something, so I went back to the manor, but I don't think it's something that I need. Not anymore.
And now he seems totally fine. Majima glances over at Spacey and laughs, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. He's faking it? Okay. For some inexplicable reason, Spacey feels her heart clench at the look on his face. She feels suffocated. Majima, what are you trying to do exactly? Why don't they sit there and be like, he did it! Loud crackling noises come from the direction of the burning manor. Spacey, watch out! Mizuhito pulls her by the arm and presses her head against his chest. Sparks of the flames dance, a telltale sign that the fire is getting larger. It's dangerous here! Please stand back! The firefighters begin to usher Spacey and the others to stay away from the fire, which is smart. Good job, firefighters, because we're too stupid. We're all standing in the middle of this shit. You there! Stand back! The firefighter calls out to Majima, but he doesn't show any signs of stepping back.
beautiful, isn't it? The crimson flames. Everyone should be there, burnt into ashes. And you'll all come out clean.
Beautiful. Okay, Majima sounds crazy. He's getting crazier as he goes. What are you going on about? But in that instant, Majima dashes into the blazing manor without giving the firefighters a chance to stop him. Yeah, Majima's fucking cray-cray. We like the crazy one, so it's gonna be fun. Majima!
That idiot!
On edge, the firefighters surrounding the area Majima's disappeared into... on edge, the firefighters surround the area Majima's disappeared into and frantically call out to him. Hey, get back! What do you think you're doing there? Get back here! But a loud roar splits the air, and they can only look on as the Nomiya's manor collapses to the ground. With Majima inside, he ran in there. Okay. I was wondering how we were going to, quote-unquote, get rid of Majima. I didn't mean it like this. But you know what I mean? All the other ones, he's like, whatever. And he just disappears into the ether, right? And this time, he disappeared into a burning building. Spacey watches in silent horror from Mizuhito's hold. Fujita stands next to them, looking just as flabbergasted. Majima, why? Spacey lifts her fist and uncurls her fingers, revealing the blue flower she's been clutching. What's that? Pick this up in Majima's room. It's Chinese bellflower that doesn't grow in our garden. It never decorates the vases in the manor. Was Majima the culprit behind her parents' deaths? I mean, I feel like that's obvious. He burst your manor into flames and basically said this place is cursed. I swear to God, he's got to be the product of incest between our mother and her brother. If not, I'm going to be so fucking disappointed because that would just be... You know what I'm saying? Come on. Or was it someone else? Was Majima their gardener and an opium dealer and nothing else? Doesn't have an answer to that. Right? Was he a gardener and an opium dealer and nothing else? No, he's your brother cousin. Spacey can only stare at the burning manor as it collapses in front of her eyes. The manor of their household, the woeful household that's had to experience her parents' unfortunate deaths and her brother's solitary suffering. Embraced in her brother's gentle and warm arms, Spacey continues to fix her watering eyes on the flames that sear the sky. I'm just saying, that would absolutely be brilliant too, because the game sets you up with this route. You're like, oh my god, you're in Mizuhito's route, and maybe you're like, he's not really our brother. Okay, all right, it's not too bad, I can handle it. And then it's like, oh, you think? Here's your actual brother! The bamboozlement is fucking amazing. Like, you think Mizuhito's your brother, and you're like, I gotta go fuck my brother. And then it's like, ha, just kidding, not your brother. And you're like, oh, phew, not my brother. Majima's your brother, though. Have fun with that one. You know what I mean? Like a brilliant... Again, if they don't do it that way, I'm gonna be so mad. Still love this game, but I'm gonna be mad. Before long, the fire dies down, and they uncover a burnt, dead body of a man from among the ruins. Yep. But it isn't Majima. Oh! Judging from the look of the body, it seems to belong to Saburo instead. Saburo's body is located at the center of the explosion and suffers from extremely violent burns. It's likely that Saburo was the one who detonated the bomb. However, his motive remains debatable. Did he intend to commit suicide by blowing himself up? I don't think he's that smart, and I feel like Majima was like, I need you to go do this. And he's like, okay. He doesn't seem very intelligent. Perhaps someone else asked him to detonate the bomb. He must have been ordered to do this without realizing the act would lead to his death. Exactly, because he's not the smartest in Majima. They never found Majima's body. Oh. Where's he gone off to? No one knows. Yeah, because you would have found him. If you found Saburo, then you would have found Majima. So he somehow ran in and got out. That seems crazy, though. That seems unplausible. Implausible. Unplausible? Implausible. Final chapter. Well, we'll see, though, because these are usually hair in the shades of night. These are usually like an hour, so. A few years later, Tracy looks at the sky from the hotel's spacious balcony. Under the sky is a road, full of dressed-up ladies and gentlemen and the four-wheeled carriages. The road's bustling with activity. But Spacey likes the sky more than the glamorous spectacle. The beautiful and twinkling stars, the clouds that appear pale pink because they reflect the lights of the city beneath. Japan's also under the same sky, she thinks, and the thought's enough to put her mind at ease. So we're not in Japan. Oh my god! Look at our brother in a tuxedo! Stop it, it's fabulous. A man in a tux is always gorgeous, and a man in a suit. But you know, our brother's always been lovely in his kimonos, but like seeing him in the fucking tuxedo.
What are you doing here?
Mizuhito silently steps into the room while loosening his necktie. The air around her brother is as tranquil and clear as she remembers.
The Paris is a little chilly tonight, huh? But be careful not to catch a cold.
Didn't I say we were going to run? Oh, yeah, that's true. It's the Eiffel Tower in the background over there. I realized that's what it was supposed to be. But didn't I say that? I'm like, well, maybe then we could just, like, run away to, like, Paris or some shit. Yeah, just here we are. I'll be fine. I'm not cold at all. It's actually perfect because I felt so hot from all the dancing. Mizuhito's now a famous painter, and when he was invited to a party held at the palace, Spacey came with him to Paris. They actually get invited to balls almost every night, which is why Spacey's been taking full-fledged dancing lessons here. She's becoming better at dancing now, but she still thinks that her body isn't made for dancing. And Spacey still doesn't like the boisterousness that accompanies every ball. As a popular painter, everyone wants to talk to Mizuhito, who's now referred to as Viscount Nomiya. But since he has absolutely no intention of being away from Spacey during parties, she always finds herself in the center of a circle of people. And now he's like, oh, this is my wife, not his sister. And most people have noticed that the model of Viscount Nomiya's painting is his little sister. Oh. So you told people it was your sister? That was stupid. We got away, and we didn't have to hide our relationship. You shouldn't have said little sister. Stupid. Game, that's so dumb. The most admired among all of Mizuhito's paintings is Hair in the Shades of Night, and it features a delicate and minute depiction of a woman's beautiful black hair, drawn using fine point brushes.
Oh, it's such a beautiful starry sky.
Mizuhito steps out onto the balcony and gently circles his arms around Spacey's shoulders.
You look gloomy tonight. What's the matter?
So you noticed. I should have known better than trying to fool you, brother.
Of course I noticed. My eyes have been following you since the day you were born.
And you're still as masterful with words as usual. Maybe we won't ever change, brother. You and I both.
Is it something about the past?
Yes. Spacey smiles sadly and looks to her side, at her brother. The memories of those days are rushing to my mind. Tonight, they're even more vivid than usual. Tonight's evening party has reminded her of the evening party that took place years ago, the one that marked the beginning of a series of misfortunes that befell her family. She knows very well what caused those misfortunes. Spacey still isn't sure if she should discuss it with her brother. Father and mother passed away. Manor was burnt down. Majima disappeared. A lot of things happened since then, coming at us like a hurricane. Yes, various things happened after that. The night the manor was set on fire was the last one of the misfortunes that the Nomiya household has had to suffer. After the incident, several strange events occurred. But maybe they weren't strange at all. Maybe they were fortune instead. The first miracle that happened was this. The debt that had swelled to a large sum of money was written off completely. Majima. One day, Fujita told her that their debt was no more, and Spacey didn't have the slightest idea how it was possible. When Spacey asked her brother for an explanation, he revealed something that she had never known before. There were supposed to be multiple creditors involved with the Nomiya household's debt, but someone bought all the claims. This person was an unknown nouveau riche, and the same figure who secretly used their influence to enable Mizuhito to earn money by selling his body. I think Majima was the same figure who used their influence to enable... But I thought Kyoko was the one who did the influence for that, so did she pay off their debt? But she's not nouveau riche. Huh. But neither Fujita, who took care of the transactions related to the household's debt, or Mizuhito, who agreed to work as a prostitute, had met this person before. There was always someone else acting as the mysterious person's representative. It would make sense if Majima was the one to get Mizuhito into that, like, knowing that that would destroy him. You know what I mean? The debt certificate containing all of the household's debt was later sent to Mizuhito. In other words, their household had no more debt to pay. The mysterious person who'd been holding the Nomiya household's fate in their hands disappeared after that, vanishing like a cloud of smoke. Applicable since he ran into a fire and then vanished like a puff of smoke. The mysterious person's disappearance was clearly related to a certain missing man, but no one in the household talked about it. However, the fact that they no longer had any debt to pay didn't mean that their burnt manor would rebuild itself. A few days after the fire, their grandmother from their mother's side offered her own manor for them to live in, but they knew they couldn't stay there long. After leaving the manor, the siblings were ready to face countless hardships in order to make ends meet. However, the two of them were saved by an unexpected figure, Mizuhito's biological father, Count Shirakawa. Although, to be precise, it was Viscountess Fujitani, the older sister of the late Count Shirakawa, who made the arrangements to help them. Fujitani knew that Mizuhito, her brother's child, had been growing up as an illegitimate child of the Nomiya household. A lot of illegitimate children being raised by other people. I'm just saying, Pachima, right? Since Mizuhito's mother was not just any maid, but a servant of Viscount Nomiya's household, the Shirakawa's distant relatives, the fact that Count Shirakawa had gotten her pregnant caused a skirmish among the Count's extended family. But then Viscount Nomiya declared that the newly born child was his own illegitimate child. Thanks to the Viscount, the Shirakawa family was able to hide the immoral deed committed by one of their own, and they had always felt indebted to the Nomiya household. And yet, when we were in debt, you didn't try to do anything about it. I guess because you were like, keeping secrets. When the Shirakawa family learned about the many hardships that had befallen the Nomiya household, resulting in the loss of their home and reducing their number to just a pair of siblings, they decided to reach out and help after considering the situation. They helped Mizuhito so that he could go to an art school and devote himself to painting. But being a free spirit, Mizuhito hated the popular realism back then, for it valued only superficial and formulated techniques. He graduated and submitted his work to various exhibitions, but he got rejected each time. He fell into a state of despair then, but he decided to fulfill his dream of studying abroad in France, just like the late Count Shirakawa, who went to Europe to study painting. Mizuhito insisted that Spacey come along, so she did, on the pretext of looking after her brother and studying foreign languages abroad. Spacey herself immediately agreed to her brother's offer because she was getting fed up with dealing with endless marriage offers. See, again, though, it's kind of like, I mean, I understand being back home, but like this was the perfect opportunity to leave and then be together with each other in a foreign country, just peace out and disappear. But now we're still pretending that we're siblings who are fucking behind the scenes. I mean, sure, I'm into it, but like, even if we were actual siblings, the best ending would be we ran off to Paris and my brother could paint and we're a married couple, not siblings. And so Mizuhito and Spacey went to France together. They got a place with cheap rent and lived a modest life at the beginning. But Mizuhito never stopped putting out his works at the salon, and when he graduated, gained fame as a painter. Before long, his popularity rose rapidly. He began receiving financial support from Japanese businessmen in France who were also active participants in high society there. By this point, the two of them could live without relying on the allowance remitted to them from Japan. Sorry, I thought there was going to be an extra line after that. Now there's not a single person in France who hasn't heard of Mizuhito the painter. They live in a gorgeous house in luxury, and they socialize with well-known figures. Mizuhito's paintings, which were not accepted in Japan, now bask in acclamation in France. And Spacey finds it ironic. Her brother's a Japanese man through and through, and she thought her brother would never have anything to do with Europe at all. Well, see, but the thing is like, it's kind of like you find art from other cultures sometimes a little more appealing than the art in your own. You know what I mean? So, like, he's, like, obviously Japanese artist. He's got Japanese art influences. And he's doing that, and in Japan, they're like, yeah, whatever. And then you go to Europe, and they're like, ooh, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's because it's something, it's different and unexpected compared to what you're used to in your bubble. You know? I mean, I get it.
Did someone at the party say anything that upset you?
Mizuhito peers into Spacey's gloomy expression, and he seems genuinely concerned. He looks worried as he strokes the stray strands of her updo along her nape. Spacey looks up at her brother and smiles. No, not at all. Why would you think so?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's because I've met many unsatisfied ladies recently. They hate that I keep drawing you.
Oh, I don't think it's just started recently, though. I think you have more women who are obsessed with you than you know, brother. And the thing is if they thought we were married, that'd be one thing. But they think, oh, you're just obsessed with painting your sister. Like, we can't be open and out here.
Please, I've heard that one a lot. But then, why are you looking so blue?
Macy shifts her gaze down to her feet. Her brother doesn't seem like he's willing to drop the subject, but should she tell him about it? Then again, her brother's bound to find out one day. She should probably talk to him about it now so as not to lead him astray. Are you pregnant? Macy heaves a small sigh, making up her mind. She really doesn't want to talk about it, but she has to. She's recalling her past more clearly than ever today because she ran into someone unexpected today. I met Shiba. Ah. What? Mizuhito explains in surprise, something he seldom does. Macy fixes her eyes on her brother, unsure what kind of face she should be making now, and continues. And if they're hiding their secret relationship, Shiba's not going to be... You're going to be like, yeah, I'm actually with my brother now, we're dating. Yes, he was at the party. He said he was doing business in Germany, but recently moved to France. Man, Shiba's just following us across the world! Shit! I'm just saying, man, I know it's not his route, but it brings a little smile to my face. Like, that man is desperate. He is so into us, he'd follow us to fucking France. Sure, it was an accident, Shiba, whatever. Like, I mean, come on, that's kind of like, you're like, that's kind of sweet of you. I need you to simmer down and let me date my brother, but like, you know, I can't not find that a little adorable, if desperate, but, you know. What? Oh, God. Now that man is here, in France. You told me you wanted to buy your paintings, brother. Well, he'd have to kill me first. Mizuhito spits in anger, and Spacey flinches in surprise. He wants to buy your paintings because they're of me! Shiba, you really are desperate and slightly pathetic in this route. Good God, I still love him, though. It's truly rare of her brother to raise his voice in anger in this manner. In fact, Spacey doesn't think she's seen him get mad ever since they started living together in France. Spacey looks at her brother as if she's only seeing him for the first time and clenches her jaw. It doesn't escape Mizuhito, and he immediately relaxes before enveloping his sister in a tight embrace. I thought Lady Amami talked him into giving up on you, but I guess he's still trying. He told me he saw your one-man exhibition. He complimented you a lot. I bet he said an obscene word or two to humiliate you. Wow. To humiliate you! I cannot speak today. Didn't he? In fact, Shiba did, but Spacey chooses to hold her tongue. Most of Mizuhito's paintings depict Spacey, and one of the most appreciated ones is a nude painting of her. Her black hair looks neat against her kimono, but when those dark strands drape against her bare white skin, the combination is imbued with a bewitching sort of beauteousness. Beauteousness! But, like, doesn't anyone think that's a little odd you painted a naked picture of your sister? Shiba used a few choice words to point that out. He said Mizuhito's paintings were oozing with his deep love for her, and it's so palpable that the audience will shudder in response if they gaze at the painting long enough, and you're like, well, I mean, considering the fact that I have sex with my brother after we do these paintings, yeah. It's true that Mizuhito's paintings can be intimidating. Viscount Nomiya is known for his hair paintings, and they all have the power to stifle the audience with his obsession as each strand has been drawn with incredible tenacity and precision. I would know. Among critics, there are those who say nasty stuff too, acting as if they know everything about painting. I don't know much about painting either. I like your paintings, brother, but I really don't understand a thing about cubism or surrealism, or surreal realism. That's okay. You don't have to force yourself to learn about those terms. I myself am not completely familiar with everything about painting. I just know that I find original expressions attractive. Each one of them is exhilarating and exciting. Nowadays, foreign painters like me are popular because we offer unique expressions as a result of our homeland's traditions. And that's why painters like me are able to make a living. See what did I say before? It's because it's something different than your norm. You're in Paris, so you look at the Parisian art style or what's popular in Europe, and then you see something from Japan, a totally different culture, and it's like, ooh, and it's because it's totally the culture's totally different, you know? Vastly different. So the painting styles and everything and what's expressed in those paintings is going to be different, and it makes it exciting because it's not something that you see, you know? Because people are going to paint what you know. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. I'm just as clueless about the current trends, why people like what they like, but I know your paintings have the ability to grasp the hearts of the people. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I think your paintings are really attractive. And it's all thanks to you. Do you know that? Mizuhito says, his voice thick with adoration. You might find this surprising, but I can actually relate with that man's obsession. Spacey's hair falls to her shoulders. When did her brother take the comb from her hair? You're like, I can understand why he's obsessed with you. You know, that's sexy. You're a little jealous that another man's obsessed with me because you're obsessed with me. Brother. Sister. Mizuhito's fingers are slowly stroking her hair, as gentle and hot as the fingers that used to wash her hair back then.
Anyone who catches a whiff of your sweet scent will never forget you. People are buying my paintings not because I'm good at painting. All of my buyers, they want you.
Not a bad place to be. But not just any painter can paint me. It has to be you, brother, because no one is as obsessed with me as my brother. Shiba maybe, but he can't paint, so. I mean, have you looked at the hair strands that you drew? If you hadn't been touching my hair so much, you probably wouldn't be able to draw my hair with such detail.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh! He's groping our boob! Jesus Christ, you lusty little bastard! In public! I approve of it. Look at his goddamn beautiful face. It's so, like, sexy and slightly sinister. It's like naughty. Got that naughty glint in his eye. Mizuhito twirls Spacey's hair around his fingers and leans in to place a loving kiss on her hair.
Your hair belongs to me. Your skin, your eyes, your lips, your fingertips. Everything that's you belongs to me.
Sweetly whispers before touching Spacey's body through her dress and peppering her face with kisses, and people could see this, which is so dirty and wrong, but I'm here for it. Since the day they moved to France, her brother has been seeking Spacey's warmth even more passionately than when they were in Japan. Hi. It's come to the point where he only has to hug her tightly, like he's doing right now, for sparks to light up in the pit of her stomach. Brother.
Why don't we return inside?
Where everyone's around us? Her brain feels mushy inside her head, and she nods at her brother's offer in a daze. Mizuhito lifts Spacey into his arms and carries her back into the hotel room. Oh, we were at a party, now we're on a balcony, right, in a hotel room. I kind of forgot about it. For some reason, I thought we were outside at the ball, you know? Nope. Okay, never mind. I was like, people could see this. No, they can't. Never mind. He walks into the luxurious bed and lays her there. Her brother usually moves to undress her, but today he puts his hands on the hem of her dress, trying to lift it up. Oh, hi. Oh my god, look at our face! Girl! This is slightly saucy CG, even though you don't see anything, but you kind of know what's going on. Damn. Brother, what are you doing? She still has her shoes, her stockings, and her garters on. We can't do it with my dress on. We'll ruin the dress.
It's okay. I don't mind a ruined dress or two. I'll buy you as many dresses as you want.
But still, brother... Oh.
Don't fret, ma petite princesse.
Mizuhito showers Spacey with sweet kisses, and in French. Her brothers always gentle with her, and she always melts in his embrace. She's melting on it, okay. However, there's something a little off with Mizuhito tonight. Something feels out of place, and it makes Spacey a little uncomfortable. Mizuhito fixes his heated gaze on his sister while stroking her messed up hair. That's not all he's stroking.
You're so captivating. I don't think Frenchmen could ever leave you alone.
Brother?
Tell me, Spacey, how many men have tried to make advances on you? How many have tried to steal you away from me when I wasn't looking?
Spacey stares wide-eyed at her brother. No one, brother. No one's ever tried to steal me from you. At least if they've tried, I haven't been paying attention and noticed.
Okay, you can be honest with me. I won't get mad. You're not at fault here.
But
the men here have no qualms about professing their love to women they just met. To them, a confession is just another type of greeting. This country is nothing like Japan.
Her brother's right. There have been countless men who told Spacey they wished to have a special relationship with her. Some of them went as far as to study a little bit of Japanese just to attract Spacey's attention. Hey, they're putting in effort. Good for them. A lot of men don't do that. We're fucking our brother, dude. It's not gonna work. But still. However, Spacey knows. These men are just curious about her. Like someone who wants to have a taste of a fruit that they've never eaten before. Oh! The innuendo in that. Their whispers hold not even an ounce of genuine love for her. She's received many flowers and gifts from these men. Although she can reject most of their gifts, sometimes she has to take them home with her. In fact, her everyday problems include how to get rid of these gifts before her brother catches sight of them. However, Spacey isn't a child anymore. She doesn't think she needs to report every single one of these occurrences to her brother. No, but he kind of gets a little jealous, and then he gets a little possessive, and then we get some, like, hot, intense sex with him, so. She decides to tell her brother about Sheba because she figured it wasn't something she could hide forever. She never wanted to have to talk about other trivial things. Because those lesser things will only trouble her delicate brother, and it won't benefit the two of them in any way. Oh, so he won't get jealous and have hot, intense sex with us? He's just going to get sad and mopey? I get it. If his worries increase, it may interfere with his motivation to paint. Spacey thought Mizuhito knew she was keeping these trivial things secret out of consideration for him. But tonight he seems more highly strung than usual.
You're mine and mine alone. Promise me you won't go anywhere.
Brother,
every time we attend an evening party, I always get insecure. And those who love my paintings are sure to go crazy about you. I can barely think straight from all the worries, wondering if one day someone will come and snatch you away from me.
I love how, like, kind of clingy and possessive he is. Because it's like in a needy, desperate way. I don't know, I'm here for it. Spacey's reminded of the days when her brother used to sell his body. He would go out every night and offer himself to be a plaything of pleasure-seeking wealthy people, without revealing anything to her. Her brother was born with the heart of an aristocrat. Although he would indulge himself in vain love affairs, there was no way his heart wouldn't throb in pain from having to sell himself in exchange for money. When they first started living in France, Spacey couldn't stop fearing that her brother would repeat the same mistake if they ran out of money. But she was worried for nothing. Their days of poverty in France were short-lived. The path that would lead to her brother's success as a painter opened up, and Spacey's worries were proven wrong. Still, whenever Spacey catches sight of her brother in a circle of reputable ladies of the high society, a dark cloud of doubt rises in her heart. And I love the fact that we're also a little jealous and clingy and desperate for our brother. Like, I see him with the other women, and I'm jealous. And he's like, I see men look at you, and I'm jealous. And it's like, it's... In a normal relationship, you'd be like, okay, you guys need to simmer down, stop being jealous. But this is big, but we're not really siblings, but still, the whole sibling dynamic is still there. And we have the secret, intense jealousy that other people, because, like, we can't come out and say that we're together because we're siblings. And it's like, so it makes it so much, it makes the whole sibling, it makes it dirtier. It makes it feel a little wrong. You know, you're like, oh, I'm jealous, and I'm fucking my brother, and no, and I can't. You know, and it's just, it intensifies the vibe that they're trying to give off with the inappropriate sibling relationship, even though you're not really siblings, you know? So, like, I like it. It's adding some flavor crystals to this fucking debauchery cake, okay? I love it. Her brother's tall for an Asian, but his slender figure and features make him stand out among large-built Westerners. He looks like a delicate and exquisite boy compared to them. But maybe she isn't the only one who thinks so about her sibling. Mizuhito seems convinced that the Westerners have the same opinions about her. Discrimination is a grave issue in the country they're currently living in, and there's never a shortage of people here looking at the Asian siblings with impure eyes, regardless of how popular her brother has gotten. The more Viscount Nomiya gains fame in this foreign country, the more her brother would gravitate toward her and vice versa. They might end up pulling each other in, and it's always been a concern of hers. And then Sheba had to attend the party tonight. The mention of that man that's caused Mizuhito to watch her with crazed eyes.
If that man shows up in front of you again, I won't forgive him.
Nothing will change even if he does, brother. All types of men could show up in front of me and nothing would change.
No. Those words aren't enough. I want you to...
Her brother laments, hugging her so tightly it's almost painful, and whispers hotly in her ear, That doesn't look like what's happening here!
Spacey, don't you want to have kids?
Huh? Spacey's heart skips a beat when she hears the abrupt question. They've never talked about having kids before. That's a weird question when everybody knows your siblings. And the reason is obvious. They live here as siblings. Having a kid live with them is out of the question. So why is her brother talking about kids now? Perplexed, Spacey muses, wondering if there's another meaning to the question. But if we have kids,
I want evidence of our love.
Dude, that's not what kids are for! Sweetie, that's not how it works! There it is. Her brother's true motive. The admission alerts Spacey of the depths of her brother's obsession with her, and she shudders. They may not be related by blood, but since they're registered as siblings, they can't get married. They may be able to be acknowledged by law as spouses by other means, but the people in France have already recognized them as siblings. Push comes to shove, Mizuhito may be able to refute any rumor. Spacey wants her brother to continue living openly, here where the sun shines. Suppose I do get pregnant. What will you do?
I'll introduce the baby as our adopted child. You'll give birth to the baby abroad and we'll make up a story. We can tell them we adopted the child from an orphanage, or from our relatives due to certain circumstances. Besides, I think I'm going to give up my Japanese nationality in the future. I'm actually thinking of getting French nationality, and then it'll no longer be impossible for us to get married.
Brother, are you willing to go to that extent? To have kids?
Of course. I've always wanted to have kids. I want to build a family with you. A happy and bright household.
Overcome with emotions, large beads of tears spill from Spacey's eyes. I don't like when they throw down babies in my face, you know what I mean? But, like, in this situation, talking about having children with your brother is kind of, it's still on that inappropriate where you're like, but you're like, I know you're not related, but you keep talking about being siblings, and it's like, me personally, I hate baby talk. I hate it when it's like, let's have kids, let's have a family. I don't want that. Don't ruin my game. In this situation, doesn't. It bothers me because I just don't like kids, but it doesn't bother me for the fact that, like, that's just adding to the weirdness. You know, it's again more flavor crystals on the weird cake that they built of this sibling relationship. Even though they keep saying, well, you're not siblings though. Yeah, but everybody thinks we are, and we're registered as siblings, we can't get married, and now you're talking about having kids with your sister. Like, it's adding those inappropriate flavor crystals, and I'm down with it. Apparently, Spacey isn't the only one who's been taken back to the painful past as a result of Shiba's appearance. They both are. They both have a tragic past, having lost everything in those days, and become so exhausted with life. Their sadness clung to them like frostbite, but they've managed to gradually warm and heal each other up. Still, their wounds are deep. Chains of tragic and devastating miseries have left them with wounds that won't fade away easily with the passage of time. And his own parentage has been weighing on my brother's mind for years. Mizuhito must have been starving for family love for a long time now. He tried to take his mind off it by seeking physical contact with women, and later he tried to hide his feelings for Spacey. Not that Spacey doesn't want to have kids with him, not at all. It's just, she's ready to throw away her desire to be a mother if it means her decision can contribute to her brother's success. However, it might have been a misdirected devotion. As it turns out, between the two of them, her brother's been the one wishing for a family so desperately. All right, brother.
Really? You'll grant my wish, Spacey.
I'm not granting your wish. I'm granting my own too. I want to give birth to your child, brother. See, it feels, in this case, you're not like, kids. It's like, you're gonna have your brother's baby. And I know he's not really your brother, but they keep putting it in, so you're like, yeah, no, I'm getting that vibe, you know? You're like, that's a little weird. Bravo, game. Like, again, they kept it up the whole time with keeping the weirdness. It's not as weird, you know, but it's still, they do this, and you're like, brother, we can still live like siblings. We didn't hide, and like, and now, because if we had done this scenario where we went off to France, and, oh, this is my wife, and I paint my wife, and everybody's like, whatever, you know, and not your sister, and everybody here thought we were like a married couple, talking about having kids, even though we call him brother behind the scenes, like, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But now it's like everybody thinks we're siblings, and he's got this whole thing of like, why we're not going to tell everyone that I'm and like, nope, that's leaning right into the weird, and so I'm here for it. I don't necessarily mind it. I still don't want the baby talk. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it adds to that debauchery of boning your brother. So, like, I'm okay in this scenario. Like, I feel like that is a nice flavor crystal on this fucked up cake.
Oh, I never thought I'd live to hear those words from you.
Mizuhito dives in to devour his sister's lips. They exchange deep kisses, moaning and seeking each other's lips hungrily until they both run out of breath. They gaze into each other's heated eyes and embrace until they fuse, until no one could tell where one ends and the other begins. Oh, I am not going panting moans for her and she's, and then she's called, brother, oh, she's, okay, never mind.
I love you, Spacey. I love you.
Two of them have never been more flared up. Because you're gonna make a not cousin baby. Wait, yeah, I don't even know. All this time they've been loving each other, wary of the public eye. However, now that they've decided to make a baby and be a married couple, their chests feel too tight for their emotions, just like their first night together. There's hope, far too big for them to see in the seams, blinding their eyes with its radiance. No idea, been suffocating so much. Macy feels like the heavy clouds over her eyes have been lifted. I thought we'd have to live as siblings for the rest of our lives. Never imagined that our decision to have kids would make us feel so liberated. Second afterglow.
My beloved Spacey.
His soft and raspy voice caresses Spacey's skin in the darkness of the night.
My dearest princess, I swear I'll make you happy for the rest of your life.
That's supposed to be a marriage vow.
It is. You are my bride.
Mizuhito breaks into a smile, curved donning his face like a newly bloomed flower.
Tonight's the night of our wedding ceremony, where you and I are the only ones in attendance. I know we're not at a shrine or a church, but I don't need any god. My vow's only meant for you, my eternal love, to hear.
Oh, brother.
Hey, come on. I think it's about time you start calling me by my name.
Huh? But
I'm not sure if you can change the habit right away, huh? But sometimes I do have this longing to hear you call my name. I won't let other women call my name again. You're the only one I'll allow to call me by my name.
I understand. Mizuhito, Spacey says in a whisper. But it seems more than enough for Mizuhito's entire face to light up, and he reaches out to envelop Spacey in a tight embrace. He's not wrong. You can't keep calling him brother if you're now gonna switch over and be like, nope, we're gonna admit we're not really related. You can't, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe when you're rolling around in the sheets together and it's a little kink for you guys, but I'm into it. The night's as blissful as their first one, and it lulls them, guiding them into a cushion made out of love that will never deplete. The room that they're supposed to be familiar with looks like a new place now. Macy's heart's filled to the brim with a sense of satisfaction. So much so, in fact, that she wishes the night would never end. Her soft breathing's the only thing stirring the air inside the room. Mizuhito runs his fingers through Spacey's sweaty black hair and smiles at her. Really does look brown, but whatevs. I'm just saying! Come on, art! Text! Matchup!
This has to be the happiest moment in my life.
It is for me as well, brother. Spacey trails her fingers along her brother's cheek and leans forward to peck him there. She'll protect this man for eternity. The determination rises from the depths of her heart. Mizuhito continues his ministrations, untangling Spacey's hair lovingly and worshipfully. Same delicate fingers that she knows won't ever change. This would be a beautiful place to end this instead of sometimes, you know how it keeps going? After. Sometimes they take a while. No, that was the end. Perfect. That was honestly the perfect place. So, where's music? Do. Wow. So let's look at our. Oh wait, this is the one where we can't. Where the CGs go back. But whatever it is what it is. There's our first time we saw our beautiful brother, who we later find out isn't really our brother, but they still made it feel a little inappropriate the whole time with her calling him brother right up to the end. So and sister and living like that. So again, I said it before, it's not really a brother route, but they did a very good job at keeping the vibe there instead of we're not really related. Oh, okay, Mizuhito. And then you act like you're not siblings and then you run up. You know what I mean? They kept the whole sibling charade up for us. So I can appreciate that. Where they kept that vibe. So it did still give you the slightly inappropriate feelings. But I really hope Majima. So again, I'm just saying, because you can't say that this is incest, because it's really not. You know? And I'm trying to think back when other games had like the routes where they, again, it's like, oh, the same thing. Oh my god, it's your brother, but not really, I don't think they tagged anything as incest. I don't remember seeing that as a thing, Um, and this one had it, and you were like, okay, but he's not really your brother. But to be fair to this one and other games, it was clear, oh yeah, not really my brother. Okay, and then you fall in love. Whatever, not you're kind of falling in love with your and then he tells you, I'm not really your brother, but you're still living as siblings. You know what I mean? Like, other games have been able to get away with it. I can actually really only, they've gotten away with it because of other, like, without spoiling games. I think we all know which one I'm talking about, but that one, there was another aspect where you could, like, and I'm just gonna do that, and now it's like that person doesn't exist anymore, and like you didn't have to worry about it. Nobody was like, oh, but it's your brother. You know what I mean? But like this one, the only way to do that would have been actually do what we did, run away to France and pretend to be together, but we're not. He's still telling people, ooh, well, I'm sorry, my button double clicked. Kept telling everyone, oh, my sister. So they kept up the vibe. I don't know. Kind of lost my train of thought. I'm staring at us. Jesus Christ. Stop it. I'm losing my trains of thought. My trains of thought always derail. Like, look at her old lady puppet face. It's so raw. It's so goofy, but it's kind of cute in the same way. But it's so ridiculous. She usually looks really good in the CGs in this one. It's not that, like, she looks horrible. It's just, it looks so funny. Like, it's so goofy to me. Like... It definitely is off proportion compared to what she normally is, but it's so funny. Oh, now he's sad. There he is, grabbing her boob. I mean, seriously, this one's beautiful. Like, look at his face. Like, it is so, like, sinister. And not even sinister, like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you, but, like seductive and sexy and just, like, kind of like a bad character. Not a bad character, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're playing a game and there's the good guys and the bad guys, oh, you're the bad guy. Sexy. Like, that's the look on his face. Like, and this, I am sorry, but his hand is up her skirt and she's got... Guys! Game! I know you took some of our, like, porn CGs, but this is, like, softcore right here. I know what's going on under that skirt. Like, I mean, the look on her face, Jesus. You can't tell me that shit's not going down. And that, come on, stop it. Like the most inappropriate CG we've gotten in this game. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where is your hand and why is she making that face? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, like, good lord. Naughty CG. I can only imagine the actual porny CGs. I kind of want to see them. Like, his face is happy eyes. Sweet and content. That's beautiful, actually. I did enjoy this route, and I feel like I should get at least an A- for being able to handle a brother route and being totally involved in it and not feeling it's wildly inappropriate or wrong. This one's lovely when he's staring at us. Like, there you go. No, wait. That one with his slight little grin on his face. Basking in the afterglow after we boned him good. I mean, I can't say I get a full A or A+ for handling a brother route because there's that underlying you're not really siblings. So, like, I don't think it fully counts. But I think for the fact that the game did a damn good job, again, I said it a million times, I'm going to keep harping on it because it's one of those, like, bravo, applause for that, where they kept bringing brother and sister and you're living like that and it's an inappropriate relationship and, like, you know what I mean? It reminded you every once in a while, oh, but we're not really siblings. Brother, sister, like, but they kept putting it in there. They kept putting the brother-sister relationship and my brother and he was and the family. And they kept putting that in, like, way more than like reminding you. And I feel like other games where you're like, oh, it's my brother. And then they're like, but not really. We're adopted, or, you know, he's a stepbrother or something, where they tell you right off the bat. And then even if they were calling each other brother and sister, you know, I'm thinking Taisho Alice, right? You know, sister, it gets all sinister and weird, but we're step siblings, and they tell you that right off the bat. So it's not really, and that's like a kink that's like, you know, that a lot of people have, and that's fine. You're not blood related. Your parents got married. So they make that clear at the beginning. So even when you call each other brother and sister, it's not like, oh, it's like, oh, you're getting a little freaky, huh? Okay. And it's fine. This, it's like your brother and sister, but then it's like, no, but actually not. But you were already starting to feel a little bit for him. And then they just keep going with, instead of you going, oh, we're not related? Okay, cool. Then we can act just like normal people and we'll forget about it. And then the game just goes as if you're two normal people, you know, where you as the player would be like, but you grew up being siblings. The game still goes with that. It's like, you grew up being siblings, so you still call him brother, and he still calls you sister, and you're his little sister, right? And he's your brother, he's your big brother, and you want to protect your brother and your parents and all this stuff. You're not actually related though. But anyway, and then it keeps going with that to keep bringing you back into this. I know we're not blood related, but you keep harping on the brother sister inappropriate relationship to like make it feel almost as if it's as inappropriate and dirty and wrong and having this taboo relationship as if he was your half brother. So like the game does a great job, but it still has that, it keeps throwing up, but you're not really related though, so it's okay. You don't have to be squicked out about it, but yet it keeps doing things to make you feel squicked out about it. You know what I mean? It's a great balance. So I think I should get an A- for effort for getting through a brother route, because again, it's not a true brother route. So like, can we fully judge and say I'm a degenerate and I'd be totally into boning my brother now after doing this? I think yes. I'm pretty sure we could. You know, because again, game did a great job trying to make me feel like he's my brother even though he's not. And I handled it like a champ, and I was here for it. I was down to go to Pound Town with the man that's not really our brother, but we totally think is our brother and act like is our brother and treat like our brother. So I'm pretty sure if we got an actual brother route, I'd be fine. I think we have successfully proven this theory. But again, A- because it's not the full exact right scenario. It's not a perfect scenario. So there is a chance that when that perfect scenario comes along, I might cry in a corner, hug myself, and then get a therapist. I don't know. I'm going to go with not. I'm probably going to be like, woohoo, finally! So, you know, but now, you know, again, I was extremely disappointed. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I told you this, but I'm just going to reiterate. When he's like, we're not really blood related. The disappointment and the depression I felt, I was like, I'm so disappointed. Like, it just ruined everything for me. Like, I had this moment where I was like, you just ruined the whole game. And then they, you know, again, that's why I keep harping on the fact that they turned it around and they kept making you feel inappropriate about it. And I was like, all right, you know what though? I forgive you for that, because you kept trying to give me the vibes and it worked, you know? So, but man, that depression set in and I was like, what the hell? Like, I was as depressed as when my horse got taken away in The Sims. That was a very sad time for me. Like, you know what I mean? Finding out he was not my brother was a very sad time for me. But they did a great job making me feel the inappropriateness, so I give bravo to the game for that. You know, I do still feel, I'm very curious for you guys if you played this, or just watching this, knowing that he's not our brother, but we still had this scenario where it's like, oh, we're still fucking him, and they keep reiterating. Does it still make you feel icky? If you were going into being a brother, to this route, like thinking he's your brother, where you're like, God, no, why? No, I don't wanna. And then they told you not your brother, and you were like relieved. Did all of the brother sister conversations and all that stuff that they kept trying to push on you, did that still make you feel gross? Were you like, yeah, but he's not my brother, so whatevs? Or were you like, I still feel gross, stop it? Did it still bother you? Curious, just curious. You know, did it still make you feel inappropriate and like you needed to take a shower and get a therapist? Or were you like, not my brother, so it doesn't matter, game, nice try? You know? But anyway, we will do Mizuhito's bad endings in the next part. So, those are going to be tragic. Because all the endings in this have been beautifully tragic. So I am ready for the pain. Not really. Never, ever. But I know some of them are going to be amazing. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.